Welcome to Sports Rap Live, Sunday wrap-up, ladies and gentlemen. Wanted to make sure you guys got your Grammy fix in before you switched over to Sports Talk 790 and iHeartRadio, and just to make Gons sweat just a little bit because the weather got cold outside, so we got to keep you warmed up, G.
You know, if the ice is falling down in H-Town, there's something weird is about to happen.
Yeah, you thought it was hailing earlier.
Yeah, it was just hailing stress, stuff over my head. So, another technical battle right now.
Hey, but you know what, though?
But Bob's the
you
man,
always win those. You always win those, Gons.
Exactly.
And shout out to the people that are already tuned in, wondering where the
sir.
heck their Sports Rap Live is.
We're here.
They're checking in on Twitter at Sports Rap Live. That's rap with 2 P's. Or on Sports Talk 790 and iHeartRadio. Hit me up asking, where the hell are you guys? It's 8 o'clock. You're not on the air. Well, Gons and Bob, once again, the dynamic duo, get it done. We are live on air. I hear music in my ear. And we are off and running here from Junction Bar and Grill, 160 West Gray, in the shadow of downtown Houston, Texas. The best bar food in H-Town, most beautiful wait staff, and the coldest drinks around. Even on a cold night like tonight, it's nice and toasty here in the Sports Rap Lounge, and you can get yourself a big 790 cup full of beer, where the pitcher specials are always flowing on Sunday night. And the Rap Pack is in the building. We got sneaker trades going down here tonight, of course. You never know what might pop up. Bad Rap Kings in the building. Bun Bitha is here.
You said sneaker trades?
Yeah, man.
Dang, we're like the flea market over here.
You see us? We are the NASCAR.
I'm just waiting for the elote, little stand over here.
Actually, our man Aaron, who runs the bar here, he was chomping on some with his crawfish. Of course, the crawfish is in season here at Junction Bar and Grill. There's 43 screens of live sports action. And if you want to get in on the action tonight, you can do so at 713-212-5790 as we take you around the world of sports, sounds, and of course sneakers, as I just mentioned. And as always, it is brought to you by Diamond Supply Co. and DiamondSupplyCo.com, where the brand new spring line is available on the website, and it's hotter than Jeremy Lin on the New York basketball courts, if you know what I mean. And they actually just dropped a Knicks colorway of the VVS Diamond Low Cuts. If you haven't seen those, make sure you go to DiamondSupply.com. And we'll be hanging out with Diamond Supply all week in Vegas, myself and Kadoma, who just landed, just got off the airplane. He's already got us tuned in to iHeartRadio. So I want to shout out to Kadoma. He's not here tonight. But Bun is here, of course, as the streak continues. Man, we roll deep here on Sports Rap Live. And
that's right.
Fife is going to join us for a while tonight. You know, we're going to kind of close the book on the NFL for a while. It's
until the draft comes.
I don't even like to. Don't say that.
Yeah, it feels weird on Sunday. Like, I was waiting for Al Michaels to start talking.
Football doesn't stop because there's already coaching moves being made right now.
That Manning train.
You know what I'm saying? And top of March, we're gonna be trying to figure out where Manning's gonna go. I think it's pretty understood that they're not going to give him the money. He's going to go somewhere. That's going to be interesting. Then the draft, you know what I'm saying? Not just for that first pick, but that second pick as well. It's just going to be interesting.
I did sprinkle
interesting.
I sprinkled some NFL Bun into the rap sheet tonight, so we will get into that because the draft is 74 days away from today, and that's going to be here before we know it. But we are going to be very, very hoops heavy here in the first hour. And if you catch us live on Sports Talk 790 and iHeartRadio, we thank you for tuning in. But if you miss the show, if you're out with the wife or, doing things around the house.
That happens.
Yeah, you can't catch the show.
You get caught up watching Jeremy Lin.
Yeah, you never know, man. Well, you should be listening to us while you're watching Jeremy Lin.
Maybe you have to watch the Grammys, but you don't have to listen to the Grammys.
Very true. Very true. Well, if the wife just won't let you have the earbuds in your ears, you can always go to the brand new podcast powered by amphouston.net.
Nice.
And if you guys go to the homepage right now, our show from Thursday night is posted, and the boys are back in the building tonight, of course. And now, all of a sudden, boys, we're taking the next step. We've got cutaways. We've got new angles. Our Sneak of the Week segment is amazing. You see different angles of the sneaker.
We're going to start getting CGI. We're going to have some stormtroopers running around. We're going to have some Lucasfilm.
As the executive producer of the show, I can probably take no credit for any of these technological advances.
But
Well, soon we're gonna have just a hologram of you, Bunny. You can be wherever you're at. You can be on the road. You can be traveling. You can be at home, wherever, and we'll just CGI
The hologram style.
you in. You
Now
get your takes.
That's going to be some good sponsorship right there.
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's that Amblin Entertainment or Skywalker Ranch.
Exactly.
Hey, let's get George Lucas on the phone right now because I went and saw that Phantom Menace. Took my daughter and her friend Sydney.
The new 3D?
Yes. We went.
How was it in 3D, man?
You know what I liked about it? When they take films that weren't originally made in 3D and make them 3D.
Convert them.
Yeah, then they convert them.
Well, the conversion's usually not good because they don't spend the time that like a George Lucas will to do it right.
Well, it's not even about the time. I think when you shoot, Phantom Menace, if I'm not mistaken, was already shot fully digital.
Right.
So the conversion's a lot easier as opposed
Absolutely.
to 35 millimeter, I think, which most live action type stuff is shot in.
Right, but then you got movies like Avatar and every other movie that's come out in the last 2 years that's shot in 3D. That's almost over the top. It's almost I don't want to say too much because it's really dope if you do it right. But Star Wars was just right. It wasn't overdone. So there was certain scenes that you kind of anticipated seeing in 3D.
Right.
And my daughter's she's young, she's 8, so when she was 5, 6, and 7, 3D was a little too much for her, so I think it was just right. Now she's all excited to see every movie in 3D.
Well, it's better to see, Phantom Menace in 3D than say, Jackass in 3D.
I don't know what you're talking about. That Jackass that came out in 3D was awesome.
Yeah,
it had some of the best usage I've ever seen. Now, granted, the material was quite
of those,
vulgar.
I'm sorry,
but that was one of my favorite 3D movies I've seen.
Some of those things I did not want to see in 3D.
You don't want those digitally enhanced or anything of that nature.
But I will say Harold and Kumar in 3D was pretty fun.
It was fun.
Cool.
It was fun. I saw that too.
Definitely. Well, hey, we're going to open up the Rapp sheet to discuss the NBA action from the week and look ahead at the last 2 weeks of the first half of this shortened season as the All-Star game is taking place in Orlando in just a couple weeks.
That's crazy. It's here now.
It really is. It really is. And
I mean, Lynn's first MVP, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it.
Yeah, we'll talk about Jeremy Lin. How can you not talk about Jeremy Lin?
If we're talking NBA, we're
Absolutely.
talking Jeremy Lin.
We got to ask Fife his honest thoughts because Fife lives in Oakland now, and I wonder if he was even on his radar coming out.
Well, Lin was a kid coming up from there that he wanted his dream team to play on was the Golden State Warriors, and then the Warriors sort of had him. They yo-yoed him in between the DL and the NBA team, and then finally let him go. And then he was with the Rockets, of course, and then we let him go. And then he's even yo-yoed back and forth to the Knicks, but now it looks like he's going to stick. But he was a kid who came up and wanted to play there. He wanted to go to Stanford. He ended up going to Harvard, but he was a guy that wanted to stay local.
Sure. Doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
Just ask VY.
No, he's a sharp kid, man. Sleeping on his brother's couch to save his money because he wasn't sure how long he was going to actually be a Knick. And, I mean, obviously the rumors were that they were looking to cut him after New Jersey. But then, of course, he had the performance in New Jersey. Then the streak went on, and yada, yada, yada. And now it's this whole,
Now you see Carmelo.
Mr. Lin Vincibility and Spike Lee coming up with all these different Lin puns and all kind of thing.
He was giving away Twitter awards for the best use of Jeremy Lin's last name, of course. But I saw a post that was pretty funny, but it's Armari's jersey plus Carmelo's jersey equals, I think Darren Ravel posted it, equals 17. 1 plus 7.
That's amazing.
There you go. So we'll talk about this. We'll talk about the Rockets, of course. We've got a lot of time tonight to get into some hoops. And, of course, Andrew, Sunday nights are great for you with the Martinez Report because we got a lot of college action winding down. As we get closer and closer to conference tournaments, we'll have a lot of conference championship games on throughout the day on Sunday. And then we're going to do our special broadcast with one of the other personalities from the daytime.
Charlie Palillo wanted to come on. I think Matt Thomas, too, trying to get in some stuff about the Selection Sunday. Yeah, there was a lot of big games last night, a lot of games that are going to have a lot of effect on the conference races. So we need to get into all that. There's also some teams that are sort of, at this point in the season, you pretty much are what you are. March is a different situation because it's a single elimination. But by this point in the season, if you're a team that's struggling to win games on the road, that's just who you are. If you're a team, if you have guys that have been playing soft and you've been waiting for them to turn the corner, that's just who they are at this point. So we have to kind of get into that and start talking about teams that we need to stop hoping for them to start doing things and realizing that this is pretty much, who they're going to be this season.
Yeah, and, most of the games that are played in the tournament, or if you're a lower seed in your own conference tournament, are what? On the road.
Well, yeah, there's no true home game for any team in the NCAA tournament, but there are games that are played in venues close to your home. You know, there's some of these, like, you know, maybe you might be in Charlotte for a North Carolina team, or if you're, you know, another team like a Kentucky, you might be playing somewhere in, like, you know, Tennessee, or somewhere that's within, somewhere that's within driving distance for your fans. So it's not a road game, but it's pretty much a home game.
Well, we'll be getting you ready for all the madness that is March as we count down the days for all these tournaments, and you can hear every game on Sports Talk 790 all the way through the Final Four in New Orleans, which apparently we have been invited to broadcast from Radio Row.
Have you accepted the invitation?
Absolutely,
We've
sir.
accepted their rows.
As your executive producer, I co-sign that exception.
And as our executive producer, we would like you to be in attendance in New Orleans for that weekend.
And
That's,
Jay,
that I'm going to have to talk to the wife about.
Okay.
The wife is my executive producer.
There's
Well
good eats,
said.
there's good
touche,
music
sir.
down there.
Touche, sir.
It's the playground of the South. I love New Orleans.
Oh, of course. I don't think Bun was saying he doesn't love him from New Orleans.
I'm just trying to give him good ideas of why she should come.
Absolutely.
It's great
I
food.
mean, it's not that I don't want to go. It's obvious I want to go. You
Yes.
know? But, you know, we'll be there for, 3 days? So
What else are you going to do with your 3 days?
I got to talk to my boss
Well, hey, you know what?
about leaving home for 3 days.
Maybe the bosses can come too. We can get there in their own little wing in the hotel.
Yeah, that's going to cost a lot of money if my
Okay.
wife comes to New Orleans. I'm just going to tell you.
I'll see if my wife can find some coupons. We make this happen.
That's why I'm my own
Of
boss.
course, obsessed for coupons.
I'm with that.
You got Mrs.
AAA
Gons.
discounts, whatever we got to do, man. Let's do it.
Yeah,
All right.
She's the one to go to for that.
There we go. There we go. We got to effort Jay Billis that weekend, of course. We don't need to take a break.
Okay.
You know what? We run this airtime at night
Yeah,
right here.
I need,
Making
I
sure
need
we're
to
on
take a
time.
break and go ahead and call the wife. If we got, can we do that? Can
Yeah.
I take a break right now?
Before we
Call
commit
home?
to anything on air.
Yeah,
handle business.
Because she's listening, and I'm pretty sure my phone's going to start vibrating in a few minutes.
Yeah,
So
I think mine's starting to kind of vibrate right now for a second. Like, oh, hold on.
Well, at least we know they're listening. Hey, you know what?
Yeah, man,
we got a
and-
few people out there listening.
Oh no, we got a couple of people out there rolling with us. The Rapp Pack is not just here at the Junction Bar. The Rapp Pack lives online,
Yes, sir.
lives on iHeartRadio, lives on the 790 AM. So
Very
it's all
true.
good.
Very true. And on Twitter, of course, you guys can hit us up at Sports Rap Live. That's Rap with 2 P's. Or Bun B Trillo G and Tinez, ANDTINEZ. And of course, at DJ Gons. So you guys follow all of us. Follow all of the action as we take the show to the road. But right now, I'm going to take you to the bottom of the hour. If you guys want to get in on any of this talk before we start talking NBA, call up the Silverleaf Ghost Pepper hotline at 713-212-5790. Apparently, we're going to have some more giveaways coming up in the coming weeks. Of course, House of Blues the other night for Revolution Pep Love was a great show. And I saw a lot of folks out there who are repping BC Smoke Shop. And if you guys head down to BC Smoke Shop right now, you can get $20 off purchase of $100 or more if you have the coupon that you can print on sportsraplive.com. Of course, that's Rap with 2 P's, and we call it our Rap Pack Special at 2 of their Houston area locations, 7909 Westheimer, and of course out there, out Kadoma's way at FM 1960 and Jump Road.
Sweet E.
Jump off road.
And they're in Suite E
Suite
when
E,
you go. on
right off the
1960.
line.
They're in Suite E.
And
Which
they
is
have
a-
the sweet pieces over there.
That is a sweet, my friend. I just found my BC Smoke Shop lighter in my pocket,
Yep.
which is always a good shine because it's the dank.
It is the dang. I'm glad you said that. And we're going to get into the rap sheet right now because it's the dank. We bring you all the latest stories from what you're rapping about out there, and we've got to get right into it. We teased it at the top of the show. I think we're going to try to bring Fife Diggy Dog on in just a little bit because I want to get his thoughts on the legend of Jeremy Lin. As it continues to grow, he outduels another young point guard who had his own bandwagon start to fill up as he broke into the NBA. Of course, Ricky Rubio.
What do you mean outduel? He got pretty much stopped in the second half of that game.
Yeah,
he
but-
really didn't do anything until, obviously he made the free throw down the stretch to help them get over the top. But Rubio isn't someone that I consider to be a great defensive point guard. He pretty much is just really good at passing so far. He's very unpolished himself. But I didn't really think that. I thought Rubio played pretty well considering that no one else had been able to get over on Lin.
Well, and you heard a lot of reports this morning that Lin started to show some of the fatigue from the hype and the media interviews and the basically all the attention he's gotten this week, because that goes into fatigue, not just physical fatigue, but mental fatigue too.
Oh, absolutely. Mental, capabilities play into your physical capabilities, because when the body starts to give up on you, this is when the mind takes over and pushes you over that edge. And I think that we've seen Jeremy, really play as hard as he can, but as these games start to go on, people are going to start realizing what's happening. It's the pick and roll, you know what I'm saying? They're first in the league with the pick and roll right now, but obviously people are going to start paying attention to it. They're going to start making plans for it. Of course, that night you saw the second half, they pretty much shut him down, and he kind of shut down himself, to be quite honest. And, being the toast of New York, the media capital of the world is not an easy thing to do. And right now, this guy's on the backside of the post. That's a big thing. That's A-Rod territory right there. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that it's giving him a lot of pressure, and it's probably going to affect him for a game or two. But looking at his character, look at the way he carries himself, I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be a big deal, over the long term. I think initially it is a big deal, but as Carmelo and Amari get back into the lineup and we see what's really going to happen with this Knicks team, then we'll really start seeing if they just really lock in the Lynn. Because if those guys come back into the rotation and they start losing games, New York City is it's going to be like Frankenstein's monster. They're going to storm the castle on this one.
That's a great point, Bud, because this is all happening, a 5-game winning streak, all of the attention, all of the hype, all the MVP chants without Melo and Amari.
This has been in 1 week. You know what I'm saying? This has literally been just in 1 week. But that New York media machine, once it starts rolling, man,
and
it's
Bud,
out
the
of
other
there.
thing you have to factor in is he has fresh legs. This whole season has been compacted down so much
Absolutely.
that for a guy to come in who really hasn't been in all those heavy minutes, and now he's starting to log the heavy minutes himself, I expected him to kind of give some energy to this team because he hasn't had to go through all the back-to-backs to start the season, and he's kind of coming in with fresh legs. But now you're right, he is starting to show a little wear and tear.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be interesting to see. He might need this break at the halfway point more than anyone else to kind of recompose himself, figure out, get his breath, and then realize, hey, I got here for a reason. I can keep on doing it.
Well, he got hot at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Even if the fatigue starts to catch up with him, if the publicity starts to become too much of a mental strain on him, luckily he's got the All-Star break to kind of sit back, relax, and, catch himself, get himself back to where he needs to be. But that being said, man, it's a beautiful thing for the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Just to say something that most people won't say, to have an Asian player excel at this level in the NBA has been, it's been refreshing, especially myself being a Rockets fan. I've come to learn that the Asian NBA market is very large and that they really want to see themselves represented. And I think it's a beautiful thing, even with Ricky Rubio being a Latino in the NBA and representing right now. It's a beautiful thing that's happening. And, I mean, it's a phenomenon that we don't normally see. And I think everybody kind of just wants to jump on the bandwagon, Skip Bayless included.
It's David Stern's dream scenario.
Absolutely.
It's
As a Rockets fan, though, I hate this because not only did we have Jeremy Lin and let him go, but they have our number 1 pick, our first round. We had their first round pick.
Absolutely.
So if they make the playoffs, I mean, that just takes that pick, which could be, it's up to number 5, a number 5 protected pick. So we could have the 6th pick if the Knicks don't make the playoffs. So I'm like, oh, God, Jeremy Lin, we had him. He could have been helping us, but now he's hurting us by we let him go, and he's helping our, the team we have their draft pick for.
Speaking about an international type of NBA and David Stern's dream, we're going to take it international right now. Of course, we don't just keep it local here in H-Town.
Oh, no.
H-Town never stops. We're going to take it to Canada right now and bring in...
iHeartRadio app, baby. It's worldwide.
We're going to bring in Miranda. Miranda, how are you this evening? We're doing very well. So you're checking in from Canada. Where in Canada are you calling from?
I'm calling from the dreaded city of Edmonton, Alberta.
Why is that? Why is that dreaded?
There's so many racists out here. It's not like, the United States.
I have been to Edmonton. Edmonton is not used to people who are non-white.
Exactly.
But you guys do have an incredible mall.
That's going on in the city.
Hey, Miranda. Are we losing you?
Did we lose her?
See?
Oh, no, I'm here.
Okay, good.
All right.
All right, Miranda. So I want you to keep it clean. We are a family show on the airwaves. But what? Go Oilers. Yeah, go Oilers, of course, first and foremost. What enticed you to call in to Sports Rap Live tonight?
That?
What enticed you to call into Sports Rap Live on a Sunday night?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I was watching the Grammys and I was going through my Twitter, and then I seen Bun B's tweet about calling in. So I thought I would just call in and say hello and tell you guys that I'm from Canada.
Well, we're so glad that you called in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really infatuated with the Grammys tonight myself. You know, I'd rather sit here and talk sports and talk to great people like yourself who are lucky enough to be following us and tuning in. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the NBA right now. I don't know if you know what's going on in Edmonton, what's going on in the NBA in America in Edmonton, but we have a little phenomenon with a young man named Jeremy Lin playing for the Knicks right now, who in his last 4 starts has scored more points in his first 4 starts than Allen Iverson, Shaquille O'Neal,
Jordan, Kobe,
Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Are you aware of the Jeremy Lin phenomenon in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada?
No, we do not follow NBA at all. Like, I know about the NBA, but I mean, like, for the most part, people here don't follow basketball.
Okay, what do you, obviously you guys follow hockey and music award shows.
Yeah, you know, but not really a sports fan at all, actually, to be honest with you. I called in to say hello and what up, and I love Bun B.
That's what's up.
And I want to just get, you know, Bun B to hear my voice and for him to, you know, talk and have like a conversation on the radio.
Well, you just had yourself a conversation with Bun B, the Trill OG.
Thank you so much. And make sure you tell all your friends out there that are into sports, make sure you go ahead and tweet all your followers and let them know to tune in. Even if they're in Canada, you guys can tune in and listen to us right now on sportsraplive.com. Or you can actually, if you have an iPhone, you can tune in to us on the iHeartRadio app right now. And thank you so much for calling, and thank you so much for listening. And even though you're not into sports, just stay tuned in anyway, you know?
Hey, let me ask you one more thing, Miranda. What about sneakers? You into the sneaker game at all?
Sneakers?
Yeah, like what do you rock on your toes up there in Canada?
Me personally,
I think they're rocking SRL boots with
SRL
reindeer
boots.
fur
Yeah.
lining in Edmonton because it's very cold.
I wear Timberlands, you know, occasionally.
Timbos.
Oh, I'm not really a big sneaker. I heard about the whole.
All right. Hey, Miranda, we're losing the connection across the border there, but you just made our show international tonight, so we appreciate you very much. Follow us on Twitter at SportsRapLive. That's rap with 2 P's, and we'll keep you updated on what Mr. Producer Bun B is up to, of course, and ourselves here on Sports Rap Live. All right, well, let's get back to the NBA, guys. We're going to keep it here in the East, and I got to ask you guys right off the top. Does anybody think that the Celtics, this current Celtics roster, has any shot to make any noise in the playoffs right now?
Absolutely. They're old. That's all that means is they need to make the playoffs and get healthy. All right. Right now, the seed that they're in, I think they were in the 7th seed last time I looked. That's not very good. But you know what, Adam? They have veteran savvy. What do they have? They have KG. They still have a healthy Ray Allen at this point. Rondo is still playing out of his mind. So I'm waiting to pass judgment whenever I see them, whenever that seed they get in the playoffs, and I can judge how healthy they are when they get there. But right now, it's too early.
No, I mean, those guys look pretty good today. You know, you're hearing a lot of flack about KG not really coming through this season. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, Pierce, if he was open, he was nailing threes. Ray, you know, he has this nice jump shot. You know, he utilized it very well. But I think as long as Rondo is healthy, leading this team, you can't really count the Celtics out. And, you know, all you can say about an older team and older players is that they're survivors and they're veterans. You know what I'm saying? And these guys, you know, going to first, second, third round, conference finals, NBA finals, and they've done it time and time again. So they're not going to deal with the same kind of pressure that maybe if the Sixers squeeze in or something like that, or, you know, they're not going to deal with the same kind of pressure.
But the thing is, this schedule hurts them more than other teams because it's that compacted back-to-back-to-back games that hurt those veteran teams. So they might be the 7th seed, but there's not 3 better teams than them in the East. Well, I know Philadelphia has a better record than Atlanta does in Indianapolis, in Indiana and Orlando, but I guarantee they're better than almost all those teams. And push comes to shove in the series.
And soreness is a lot different from injuries. You know what I'm saying? If guys are sore, you know, they have the best massage therapists you could probably find in the world working on these guys day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? They're going to take the time. You know, I mean, it's not like the Bulls. They don't have the worst road schedule right now. I mean, the Bulls have played, 10 road games out of the last 18 games? You know what I'm saying? So it's not like the Celtics. They have a decent road schedule, but not that hectic, so they'll be able to go home at night. They'll be able to soak in their tubs. They won't be spending as much time in the airport and traveling, trying to recuperate as a lot of these other teams. I think they'll be okay.
I'm glad you brought up Chicago because, you know, the Derrick Rose health issues continue to kind of creep up. Now you have back spasms, which I understand, you know, are natural for guys that didn't have a full training camp who maybe took the summer a little lightly.
Might have balled till they fall.
Yes. And, you know, he's already had other issues. He's had ankle problems and now these back spasms. They're the number 1 seed right now. And
of course, best record in the game.
Yeah, and they just don't feel like a cream of the crop type team.
But that just because they don't feel like it, just because they're the number 1 seed, Adam, doesn't mean that they're the best team. We've seen other teams win to get the number 1 seed, the home field advantage, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you've accomplished anything. It just means you have one home field advantage and you do well during the regular season. There's still the whole second season, which is the playoffs.
And it's coming right up, and we're going to talk more NBA and more playoffs right here on Sports Rap Live. You guys stick around right here on Sports Talk 790. What up, Canada?